our way back home from turkey camp.
Yep, it was a time and a half, boys. It was a great time. The birds, they outlooted us. We come home, no birds in hand, but it was a great time.
But it's okay.
Oh
It's
yeah,
hunting. It's hunting.
yeah, it's hunting. We had fun. We saw birds the first day. It was crazy. They were gobbling in every direction. Seen, heck, I don't know, 25, 30 birds, and they just quit gobbling.
I think lots of stories from both ends of the parties that was out there. It was me, myself, and I chasing these birds, and then it was Keaton and Nelson, which Nelson was trying to film Keaton kill a bird. Return the favor from 2 years prior to. Anyways, lots of stories for the first day, huh?
Lots of stories for the first day.
Man, it's crazy.
First day was awesome. You had a really good encounter, that's what your goal was, just have a good turkey encounter.
Yep.
And just go ahead and tell us about that real quick, and I'll tell you about our little scenario situation thing.
First off, I want to just explain, like, YouTube is so important. I feel like to hunter success, you get on there, man, you learn as much as you can, and then when you get out in the woods,
YouTube University.
let me tell you something, completely different. Completely different.
All right.
So when you're experiencing something in the woods, it's different than what you see, obviously. Every scenario is different. I got out there that first morning, I called. I'd walk about 300 yards, hit the call. And around 10 o'clock, I did it. And, I got me gobbled back. Oh, boy, I seen this old Tom on the edge of the road. And I hunkered down, ended up going off into a bottom. I threw up a Jake decoy, and I called, hit the gobble right back. One hit top left, and then one hit top right. I had two gobbles, I guess, or they were together, or it was the same bird gobbling at me when I was calling. And I sat there and I waited. Next thing you know, two heads pop up. They walked down the hill. They puffed up once they saw my decoy and strutted a little bit. They didn't go full strut, but they strutted. It's like a half strut, like, hey, what's up, bro? I'm here
Posturing up the old deek.
I'm here to mess you up.
Yeah.
And anyways, they didn't attack it together. One attacked it, but once it knocked it over, they flew up about 5 yards in the air and then sat back down and then try to figure out what was going on. They went back over the decoy.
That was easy. We killed him.
That was a game over for him, huh?
Yeah.
No, but anyways, and back to the whole YouTube thing. No one explains or tells you what to do if a bird comes in, or two gobblers come in. They were both jakes. They had 3-inch beards. I mean, like, the beards were so short. They was like little afro beards, man. It was terrible. And I realized that. And I was like, man, I don't feel comfortable shooting a bird that small, of having a beard that tiny.
Yeah. Well, you did the right thing. Let them birds grow up so we can shoot them next year as a 2-year-old bird. Or then maybe, you never know, they might live a little longer than 3 or 4-year-old birds.
Man, have 10-inch beards later on down the road, and if it's not me that takes them, great. If it's me, awesome. I'm excited, man. But yeah, just that no one ever explains to you, hey, what do you do in that scenario? Do you wait until the bird's completely out of sight, then you move from your little honey hole, get up and pick up your decoy, and then try to call another bird in? I just was clueless. I ended up letting the birds try to at least get out of sight, and I got up from my tree, threw off the face mask. Dude, I even recorded myself on my phone. I haven't even told you this yet.
I haven't even seen it.
I recorded myself off my phone. I didn't have my camera. But dude, it was just such a surreal experience for me, chasing these birds for the last 5 years, not having any luck whatsoever. It was just kind of a relief.
Yeah, I'd say you're not alone on the not seeing a bird for 5 years. Turkey hunting is tough in this part of the country. Now, out there in West Texas, there's a bunch of Rios, but it's still tough when you have a couple days to hunt.
Yeah.
And you don't know what the weather's going to be like when you get down there, unless it's like prior to like a couple days.
Yeah.
You know, but it is what it is. Turkey hunting's, it's fun. That's what I like about it. It's hard. It's a challenge.
It is. And I think that's what keeps us going. It's not only going out there and hanging out with your buds, sitting by a campfire, eating all kinds of different game for
Oatmeal
dinner.
cream pies.
Oatmeal.
He had a bunch of them. Every time I looked at you had one of them in your mouth.
Hey, easy now, easy. So back to the story. Let's hear what you have. What happened the first day for you over there?
Okay, we get down there. We sleep in a little bit because we're tired from the night before, and we're gonna go mid-morning. We get out there about 8 o'clock, and we're set up. We parked the mule side by side, Can-Am, whatever it's called, and we walked down to a spot that we've seen birds last year when we were there and the year before, so we knew it was a good area, and we wanted to give it a little shot this morning. And we sneaked down there, call nothing. So we end up setting up behind this old pond dam, and in hopes of just maybe one will come in, or well, the coyotes started just howling like loud, and as soon as they stopped howling, we hear a gobble. So we call at it, and he gobbles back, and we're like, oh yeah, he's coming. So we set up again. We move, set up the decoys and everything, and we're calling, and he's hammering. Well, he's not. Keaton's saying he's coming in, but I don't think he is. And I'm like, we need to get up and move. But he sounds like he's working his way actually towards where we kind of dropped you off.
Yeah.
So we were thinking that you were a little bit closer than what you actually were. We weren't really thinking that much. And that bird kept on just hammering every time we called. And he's working his way like towards you. But you were like, little we know, you were way off. And we should have chased him down. And we actually let that bird just kind of fade off towards you. And we end up hearing another gobble behind us. And I look back there, and there's like probably a couple hundred yards. And there's probably 20 birds. There's two big old strutters puffed up with some hens. And they're just doing their thing. And they're not listening to none of our calls. They're not paying any attention. Flocked up.
It's crazy.
So we actually chased them suckers down and tried to set up on them, and we had no luck. We could hear them in the brush just chirping, but they wouldn't do anything we wanted them to do. So once we once we did that, we went back to camp, made a game plan, ate some lunch, went back out. Nothing after that.
Yeah. When we went back out the second time, though, I ended up seeing that it was a group of hens, or it's what it looked like at least. I went down the pipeline there, and I saw them. I almost snuck up on them right along the creek area.
Yeah.
By the ground blind.
Yep.
And I followed them for a little bit, and I ended up trying to cut them off, and I called, and
yeah. Well, we went
didn't
out.
hear anything.
Yeah. Once we went back in, ate lunch or whatever, we went back out like right after that for a little mid-morning or
Right.
a little, I guess, afternoon. Not afternoon, it was like noon time.
It's like 2 hours.
Yeah, we went out there for like 2 hours, and while we were driving down the pipeline right away, we saw all those birds.
Oh, right,
Remember?
right. Mm-hmm.
And we tried to make a move on those. Actually, that was the evening hunt, wasn't it?
The mid-morning, like evening, afternoon. Didn't we eat breakfast and then go out?
So we ate breakfast, and then we went out, and then we came back in, and we went back out after that.
Yeah.
So we went in 3 times. But I remember. So.
Hey, look, it's confusing. You're out there. We spent 3 days chasing these birds, and it's not simple to remember everything that had happened. So.
I know. When did we see those birds? The ones that are flocked up down there in the pipeline?
It was our second. Because remember, I didn't go out the third time. Y'all went out the third time. I was passed out in the truck.
That's right. Okay.
So it was the second time.
So we went back out after we ate breakfast, whatever, and we drive down the pipeline, and we see that same group of birds that me and Keaton saw, that big flock of about 20. And they're way out there in the middle of a pipeline right away, probably a good 1,000 yards away. And you can see for miles on this place. And they're just chilling, grazing on the grass out there. Because it's the only green spot this time of year over there. That frost we had, I guess, just set everything back pretty good. And we decided to park and try to sneak on those birds. And when we parked, you were saying something like we flushed a bird out towards you. And
so I took the right side in the trees, the old mesquites there. I used that as cover, and I walked down the right side of the pipeline. Y'all went left side with the ATV.
Yeah.
Y'all parked it. Y'all started calling and working your way up left side. I went right side.
Yeah.
The game plan is if I didn't get or have any luck chasing those birds, y'all would.
Yeah.
Push them back and forth to each other, in other words.
I got you. But we tried to set up on those birds on that pipeline. Nothing. No luck. And we decided to go back into town. We decided to go back to camp and just hang out for a little bit, and then try to go roost a bird. You end up going to sleep, didn't go back out that evening.
Yeah, I slept like 14 hours that
Yeah. And
it's crazy.
throughout all this whole day, the wind was starting to pick up slowly and slowly. And that night, when we go to bed, the wind just started ripping. 25, 30 mile an hour winds, probably gust of, I bet you the gusts were 30, 35, something like that. It was high.
It was nuts.
We thought our tents were going to blow away with us in it, like a little parachute, and all our stuff was going to be scattered, but thank goodness we kind of tied everything up really good. But next morning, we get up, the wind's still blowing a little bit. We drive up the pipeline right away, and there's one strutter out there already early, just puffed up with a hen, and nothing happened on him. And like,
Well, y'all didn't even chase him.
I know, like, it was so far off, we could just see him with the binoculars. We're like, we're not even going to go after him. We're going to go down there where we saw the big flock and try to just sneak up on him with a roost, get close to him, and hopefully one pitches down, and we're going to kill him. We didn't see a bird, didn't hear a gobble, nothing. I think we heard like 2 little chirps from a hen off in the distance, so we didn't even know if it was a turkey. But weirdest thing ever, that wind, I guess that little windstorm that come in and that cool front just shut them up. Now, I was listening to a podcast with a turkey biologist, and he was saying like they were doing these studies on gobbler reports and how gobblers gobble more and less or not at all, like different pressure changes,
Right.
like high pressure, low pressure, or a front comes in. But we had a cold front come in, and I don't remember exactly what he was saying, like which one it was, they're gobbling or not gobbling, but whatever one it was, it worked because they did not gobble. So
I experienced the same thing. We had such a great first day out there. We were going into day 2 with high hopes. The anticipation of the second day, we're like, yep, it's game time. We're going to kill our birds. We get out there early, get set up. I say get set up. We're just out there. We're calling. Nothing.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And even the first morning, man, I was calling from 8 to around 10, like I said, walking 200, 300 yards. There's 7,000 acres on the parcel land that we're hunting.
Yep.
If I'm correct.
Yep.
And so there's tons of opportunity out there.
I know. There's plenty of opportunity, big piece of property, and it's hard to hunt it all, so we don't know exactly where the birds are going, what they're doing, because we have so little short amount of time. But that windstorm come in and just wrecked them.
Oh, very nice, very nice.
Better. I think it was mine.
So anyways, we get out there, high anticipations for second day, nothing.
Yep.
And okay, so it's 7,000 acres, like I stated. And one of the things that I try to do when we're out there, just from the previous hunts and et cetera, is I just try to stay as far away as possible from them chasing birds. Now, sometimes, it's just how it goes. All the birds are located in one area, so it's not like I'm trying to compete with y'all. It's just we're both trying to be successful.
Yeah.
So.
I know. And some spots are pretty wide open, and we can hear calling like a long ways off, just the way that echoes through there, the little canyons and stuff. So we can hear you every now and then, like certain spots, and we kind of know what you sound like, and so we just kind of work our way away. Just kind of what we did, but
Right. Well, they had seen this big tom on the pipeline, and I was hunting around camp. They took the ATV down the pipeline, 400, 500, 600 yards away from us,
probably.
or me. Well, I am walking down the road. I'm sitting there calling, and I look up, and I see this huge tom just puffed up, and I'm like, that's a good turkey. I threw the binos up on him. I was like, oh yeah. Walked down the little fence line there, pushed up against the mesquites, threw out my Jake decoy, and started calling. Did not get a single response, and I knew there was birds there. I knew that tom was right there.
I know.
And with him puffed up, showing himself off, acting like a big tough guy, he should have been hollering back at me,
I know. I think he was just henned up, and there's no reason. He's got that hen close by that there's no reason for him to gobble. Because when they're gobbling, they're looking for hens. I'm guessing that's what's kept them shut up. They're just all henned up. And what's weird last year there was a lot more water, like the pools and the creeks and everything had water. This year, bone dry, no water anywhere. So I don't know where these birds are going to drink. So I'm guessing they're heading on the neighbor's property more during the day.
So,
and
So for day 3, though, you and I, we went out and we tried to chase these birds together.
Yep.
Get an awesome YouTube video for everybody. And, man.
Nope.
Just
We saw
didn't
3
hit.
birds on the roost,
Mhm.
and they pitched down onto the neighbor's property
Exactly.
and flew off into the neighbor's property, and that's all we saw.
It's just
That's only birds.
It's crazy to have 20 plus birds on a piece of property. You know they're there. Different groups, it seemed like, because I was seeing a lot of birds up by camp, and that's kind of where I was stationed, per se. Y'all were backside of the pipeline,
Yeah.
where y'all saw them the first day,
Mm-hmm.
chasing them in the old honey holes there. And, you know, it's crazy to have that many birds there and disappear on day 2 and day 3.
And I know. And today, the weather was perfect, sunny, and it was like 4-mile-an-hour winds, so
No
you could
wind.
hear you could hear anything around. You could hear. It was so quiet and crisp, not a gobble one, not even a hen chirping. So I don't know what that windstorm did to them birds, but it shut them up really good. That cool front blew in. It dropped temps probably 10, 15 degrees. Not a whole lot, but it cooled off a little bit.
And
Enough for us to wear a jacket.
Keep in mind, though, okay, so last year and this year both, we went in on week 3
Of opening day.
of opening day. Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that has a little something to do with it. I feel like if we were there on week 1, 2 weeks in advance, I feel like we could really get those toms that are anxious to be henned up, and I think we'd have a little bit more of a time gap to be more successful.
Well, I think you're right. I think definitely that since they were henned up, I do think we're a little late on that. And this is a hard time to hunt this time of year when they're henned up. The birds aren't talkative. There's no reason for them to gobble back.
Mm-hmm.
We maybe should have switched up to hunting over a food source, but they were just so spread out. We didn't know there wasn't like a perfect food source just to sit there all day on.
Right. Or even a water hole. Like sometimes
hole.
you could go set up on a water hole where you know they're at. You said 3 years ago. Just tell the story about the pond 3 years ago.
Well, yeah, 3 years ago we went and 3 years ago we went out there and there's water everywhere, and the birds. Every time we go to the pond, there's birds at it. So there's no water this year, and we really think the birds were going to the neighbor's property somewhere and getting drinks, doing their thing,
Then coming onto the property.
then come over here just to do what they do,
Mhm.
walk around, look for bugs. I noticed all the birds. There's a bunch of, I don't know if you noticed this, but all the little cow patties were flipped over.
Right.
That's turkeys flipping them over, bugging, getting
Really?
bugs. Yep, sure is.
I did not know that.
Yep, and I noticed a bunch on top of those cow patties was a bunch of little roly-poly bugs.
Right.
And I guarantee if we would have killed a turkey and opened up his craw, they would be full of those little bugs.
Man, that is an awesome point. It's a good observation. No kidding.
I know.
I noticed the little grubs. I don't know if they were centipedes or what.
Oh, the little centipedes.
Yeah,
they're
there
like
was-
4 or 5 inch long ones.
There were tons of them, though.
Tons.
Did turkeys eat those, you think?
I'm not sure. I know they're poisonous.
Ooh.
I'm pretty sure they're poisonous.
Well,
Or maybe
I
that's a
saw a lot of
millipede.
dead ones.
Maybe millipedes are poisonous. I'm not sure.
Lots
I did.
of dead
A
ones.
bunch of dead ones. They're all curled up and white.
Exactly.
So there's plenty of food scattered
look
out
like
for them, like bugs,
Mhm.
bug-wise. But the green grass just now starting to sprout up, so there wasn't a whole lot of seed or anything out for them yet to feed on. And I really do think that frost that we had, that really good snowvid, pushed back the growth on everything. And I don't know. It's a weird year.
Strange year, but man, dude, hope set high for next season for sure.
Definitely. I can't wait to
out
get
there.
back. It's an annual little hunt. It's fun. I like it down there. It's a good time at turkey camp.
Nelson is driving,
Driving down the road.
He's having to do what a driver does.
Pay attention.
Our exit is closed right now, so we're having to take a little detour, not really knowing what's going on. But hey, we're
Ooh,
gonna
that's
get
a
home.
big old piece of concrete. Not hit that one.
We got an old Can-Am on the back.
Yeah, hopefully that grill's still back there.
Imagine if it's not.
I know.
Sorry.
Yeah, back to the turkeys. We had a good time at turkey camp. Can't wait to get back out there. But you know what? What's coming up this weekend? Opening day of Oklahoma turkey season opens tomorrow. Well, Oklahoma eastern, southeastern, the eastern turkeys. There's a lot of easterns.
Get old Eastern boy.
Opens up tomorrow, and we're gonna go chase them next Sunday.
Northeast Texas zone opens up this weekend as well.
Yeah, Thursday, I think, the 22nd.
So
and
I'll be chasing some Easterns hopefully
Yep.
Saturday morning.
Saturday morning, I got a Texas Eastern hunt, and then Sunday morning we're gonna go chase Easterns in Oklahoma. So we got birds lined up. for Texas and Oklahoma turkey season, Easterns.
Yes, sir.
We're going to see what we can do. Hopefully we can connect with the big old Eastern. I don't know about you, but the Easterns are way pretty. They're beautiful compared to those Rios. Rios are pretty too. I do like the white.
I know the white line that goes across their fan.
But it's something about an Eastern walking through big hardwoods that are greened up here in Northeast Texas. Man, it's beautiful.
I feel like in Northeast Texas too, we have such big trees compared to the mesquites and the taller brush areas there and the pipelines. It's more open out there in West Texas compared to Northeast Texas. Yeah, we have the pastures that have the tall green grass, but those trees, man, something about sitting on a big oak tree.
You're right. It looks nice, and the Easterns, believe it or not, you got to get a lot closer to hear the gobble because the cover is so dense that the sound doesn't travel near as far. So when you hear that gobble, he's gonna be close. Like the Rios, you can hear them from like a long ways off, but them Easterns, once you hear them, they're normally within a couple hundred yards.
We're only gonna get better at this too.
Oh yeah,
I know you've
been
chasing.
It's a learning experience every time you go out.
How long have you chased turkeys?
Oh, I've turkey hunted my whole life. I'm 25 years old. I haven't chased them hardcore. Like I've always, I went out and hunted like once a year, like when I was younger. And but here last couple of years, probably last 3-4 years, like I've been like turkey crazy, and I just want to just chase the birds. That's all I want to do. So, but I've always hunted turkeys, and I kind of seen them. We've always had them on our place. I've used to call all the time. Dad used to have turkey hunting stuff, and always looked through his gear and I don't know, destroyed it.
That's so cool.
Lost it out in the field, but yeah.
You still have one of his turkey vests you used to this weekend, huh?
Yeah, he bought those suckers when we were young. That's when I shot my first turkey with that sucker. He bought them, and we hunted 3 days in a row. And the third day, I shot the bird. Shot a little Jake, had a 4.5-inch beard. And Dad, that was funny. I called that sucker in, or me and Dad called him in. And he popped out of my decoy, and Dad's like, I don't see a beard. And I was like, I see one. I busted that sucker. That little beard, little stub, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. That sucker was awesome. I think he had like 1/4-inch spurs. Nice. He didn't even have a spur down there.
Hey, but you know what? Like you said, it's that memory that counts.
Oh, yeah. But that turkey hunting, it's in my blood now, and I just want to keep doing it. It's fun. I look forward to every spring, not fall. Fall turkeys I heard they're hard to hunt. They don't gobble or nothing.
Really, the last 5 years, I've gone out at least once a year, if not twice a season, and chase these birds. Don't really have the opportunity just because I lack the land foremost, and then second off, it's all about who you know.
Oh yeah.
If you don't have anybody that has turkeys.
Yep.
Man, public is an awesome option, but I tell you one thing: I'm not hunting public land by myself during turkey season.
Well, there could be a lot of people out there hunting. You never know, but it could have really good opportunities to get out there on public land and and chase some birds around. People do it all the time, and we have some good opportunities around us for Easterns.
But this is what the show's about. Get out there. Doesn't matter who you're with. Get out there, chase some birds, turkeys, snow geese, ducks,
squirrels,
deer,
fish,
anything.
Just
get
camping,
out there,
having a good time at turkey camp.
Enjoy the outdoors.
Enjoy the outdoors. That's what that is. Outdoor Talk Podcast.
Yes, sir.
And that's probably going to do it for us for this episode.
We appreciate y'all for tuning in.
Yep. Go ahead and subscribe if you want to like these podcasts, and leave us a review on iTunes. And we thank you so much for listening.
Appreciate y'all. Thanks.
We'll catch you on the next one. See ya.